What is coming your way? This is a pick a deck reading, so it's best to choose the first deck that attracts your eye, the first one to catch your attention. So the first one is Queen of the Moon Oracle. The second, we have Aboriginal Dreamtime Oracle. For third, we have the Aboriginal Healing Oracle. And the last one, the fourth one, is the Shaman's Oracle. So I will leave timestamps below so you can just click on those to go directly to your reading. See you there. So this reading is for those of you that chose the first deck, the Queen of the Moon Oracle deck. So what is coming your way? So the very first card we have here is Faith. And in the small print it says Worm Moon. So it seems fairly obvious by the picture that for some of you there may be a pregnancy on the way. So if this is not something that you're wanting, make sure you are taking precautions. If this is something you're wanting, I certainly hope this happens for you. It seems like this is going to happen for you. Okay, so what I'm getting, I'm trying to tune in, and what I'm getting is that it might not be a pregnancy, but there might be a child coming. So if you're adopting, if you're trying to adopt, it looks like that. It seems like a positive possibility happening in the future. I'm just trying to tune in to see if this is someone else's pregnancy, someone close to you. That again might be a possibility here. But I think for most of you, this is going to be your own pregnancy that could be happening. So, whether you're making the baby or, well, I guess you depend. Whoever's involved would be making the baby. Sorry. Yeah. So just be cautious if that's something you're not wanting. Okay, I'm going to move on. Sorry. So the next card we have here is Extremes. And in the small print, Hot Moon. So, yeah, so lots of passion coming up. Lots of physical intimacy. So if you're not in a relationship, you may end up in a very hot, passionate encounter that could end up with the pregnancy. So be really careful if it's a case of, because, sorry, it could be a case of it happens so quickly, this encounter, that you're not prepared. You don't have the things that you need for it, but it's something that you can't resist. You're overcome with your desire, and so the pregnancy could happen from that. So try to be careful, and if it's a case of you need to be carrying things on you, carry things on you all the time, because like this could be a surprise encounter for some of you. For others, it's the things are heating up in the bedroom, and yeah, it just looks really passionate quite intense. So if you're trying to make a baby, it looks like, that's going to be happening. Okay, so the next card we have here is discernment. And the small print is waxing gibbous. I think that's a 1 or an I after it, which could be a Roman numeral 1. So it's almost as though this encounter in the second card is like mind-blowing. Especially if it's something that has taken you completely by surprise, that you never thought you would get caught up in such a fast, passionate, hot affair. And it might make you really wonder about yourself. For some of you, for others of you, finding out that there's a pregnancy, that you're pregnant or have caused a pregnancy, really makes you kind of take a step back and to see the bigger picture of life, the universe, and everything, that your part in that, and how you are continuing that through this pregnancy. And so it looks like it is going to be very mind opening, heart opening for some of you. That having this child is really going to kind of open yourself up more to love, that you will start to understand that sort of unconditional love of a parent. But it looks like there's going to be like a lot of thought going on from this happening, really making you maybe even look more towards spirituality, if that's something that maybe you haven't done much of. I think it's going to really, really open your eyes, open your mind to how amazing life is, and really make you feel more a part of it as you're creating this new life. Okay, so Spirit said to move on to the next card. So we have trust. And the small print is egg moon. So still on this theme of pregnancy, perhaps motherhood, fatherhood, family. There's what's coming through for me is like this is the first nest ever built. So for many of you, this may be your first child. So trying to prepare for the coming of the child, that's going to be occupying a lot of your time, energy, and your thinking, is what's the best thing to do for the child. The feeling that's coming through in this card is the mother here in the nest is sort of in charge of this process, this event that's happening, right? And the father is there in support, but not as involved, perhaps. Or maybe, if you are the father watching this, maybe you want to be more involved, but the mother's not um, sort of allowing you or is doing things without you. It could be even medical appointments or something, that they're making these appointments but not including you in planning them so that you can attend as well, for ultrasounds or something like that. And so if that's the case, you might want to speak up. If you are wanting to get more involved, let them know that. Because I'm also coming through is there could be mother-in-law interference type of thing going on. Someone that is sort of, I mean, it might be mother-in-law, it seems like an older female who is involved with the mother, excuse me, and that she may be bending the mother's ear. Oh, you have to do this, you have to do that, telling her exactly what to do from her experience, but it's out of date, being that she's older. Or she's a much more experienced mother, and so they're excluding the father, and that's not really healthy. So if the father is wanting to be more involved, that is something that should be done, because it helps them to invest in the child as well. So make them feel that they are wanted, their presence is needed to help raise this child, if that's the case, right? If the father is wanting to be involved. Okay, so Spirit said to move on. So the next card we have here is Balance. And the small print is Waning, give us 3. Similar, right above each other. That's interesting. Okay. So it's an older woman in this card who is sort of having the same experience. Where this things are sort of the planets, I'll bring it closer. So the planets are kind of free flowing in this card, right? And the sun at the heart is small. The clouds around the head are small. And then if we compare that to this card that we're looking at now, right? The clouds around the woman's head are much larger. The sun at her heart is much larger, and the other planets or moons are not free flowing. They're under control. They're on strings like a mobile, right? And so this is someone who is much more in control, has gone through this, and is now matured and experienced. So this is someone who is looks like it's going to be offering advice and help. And they do seem to be balanced because the planets, the moons that are hanging are balanced in nature as they hang around her. And she has like these leaves, almost like a shawl around her. So she's very motherly, very earthy. I'm not sure if it's the same older person that was mentioned in the previous card, but there is someone here that would be good to talk to about their experience, to get advice from. So be open to that, because this one almost feels like you have to come to them to ask. that they offer, and then you have to take it up, you have to follow through. Where this, but the previous card, the older woman, it felt like feminine energy anyway, coming through, is more bossy, is more pushing their agenda onto the mother, is more controlling, if that makes sense. And this one doesn't have that controlling sort of feeling. So where I'm just gonna, it could be an example, but it could be the mother that is pushing the sorry, okay, so we have the mother in the nest, right, who's about to have a baby. Her mother could be the one that's very pushing, or this could be the grandmother. That's just an example, but just to see, it could be the father's mother. So it does seem to be an older woman, could be a grandmother, could be a great aunt or something. And they have a lot of wisdom. They seem to be a very calm person. Um, Laid back, sweet, but they have a lot of experience, a lot of good advice. Not so much as the person in this card that's coming through that seems to be a little more pushy and trying to get their way. Okay, so try to, if you can find that person, try to go to them for advice with this pregnancy. They will be there to help you and give really, really good advice. Okay. Okay, so Spirit said that's it for your reading. I hope everything works out wonderfully for you. And again, if this is something you don't want, take precautions, okay? Thank you so much for watching. This reading is for those of you that chose the second deck, the Aboriginal Dreamtime cards. So let's see what's coming your way. So the first card we have here is Rebirth. So this feels, because there's this string of dots coming towards the moth. So this feels like it's a regrouping of yourself. This feels like a spiritual reading that you're, and maybe in the past you've been kind of scattered, looking around, not exactly sure what you're supposed to be doing, how you're supposed to be doing it. Maybe you've looked into different religions or spiritual practices, and you're not quite sure what fits for you. So what seems to be happening here is kind of like a regrouping of a pulling everything in, going inward, reviewing, assessing. What is it that you know? What have you looked at? What feels like the best fit? And where do you want to be going? What is it that you want to accomplish? Are you hoping to have success in your life? Are you hoping to make some spiritual progress? Are you hoping to um, go the distance and try to get as absolutely far as you can with your spirituality in this life? Are you hoping to uh, push until you become a completely fully enlightened being? And so you have to kind of take a look and say, okay, where do I want to go? What exactly do I want to accomplish in this lifetime to the best of my ability? And take a look at that and then find out, okay, the things that you've done in your life and the things that you've looked at and researched and sampled, what path or journey or system fits where you want to go in your life. Okay, if you follow that path, will it take you to the result that you want? That you've got to look at. Okay, if there's nothing that fits, nothing that you've tried or looked at so far that will give you the outcome that you want, then you need to try to find what will. So try to research, look that up, ask around, continue to find out. Okay, but you have to kind of pull everything in, inwards, take a look inside, and see, get the answers to what it is you want, where it is you want to go, and um, discover which path do you need to take. Because I think there's a risk here that if you remain scattered, putting too many um, I don't know, I will call it recipes, too many recipes to try to fulfill, right? You're not going to be able to do all of them. And if you remain scattered and you're just spread out over too many options, too many things, you're not going to make much progress because you're kind of going to be going back and forth rather than forward. Okay, you'll be going side to side, over here, over there, but you won't be making much forward progress. Okay, so watch out for that. Okay, the next card we have here is ceremonial rites. So this seems like there might be a little bit of agonizing over some things. For some of you, because again, there is still a very spiritual feeling about this reading. For some of you, I'm getting the feeling that you were following a line of spirituality, a religion, and that you may have gotten abused um, in that path. And so now there's a lot of torment and torture over what's happened, that your mind is not at ease, that some of you have been assaulted. I'm not saying this is a case for everybody, but there does seem like there's been some sort of abuse or assault, some sort of trauma that has happened with one of the paths that you've taken. And that's always something that we have to be aware of and be careful of. People's behaviors, because they may say one thing and do the opposite. There's a lot of con artists out there that they just straight up lie and say that, if you want to make spiritual progress, that they're the only ones that can do it for you. Like, no, you have to do it for yourself. And so there's a lot of people, a lot of men that that take on these roles of cult leaders, of the fake spiritual teachers. We have to be really, really careful because they tend to be really narcissistic, have a lot of personality disorders, and really, really harmful and dangerous people. So we have to be really careful. So if this is something that's happened to you, please get help, please get counseling, because I'm seeing that it could be a case of thinking that because this has happened to you, you can't have any spirituality in your life, that maybe you're thinking, oh, all spirituality is fake, but no, you've just fallen into the wrong hands type of idea. And I mean, it'll vary. I mean, for some of you, maybe they stole all your money or something, but there has been some sort of harm that it seems like has happened. And you don't want to turn away from spirituality completely because of this. So there is a need to get help, counseling, to overcome that. And then I would recommend, suggest, of course, this is up to you, but keep looking for the spiritual path that's right for you, that's best for you, and just really be careful and cautious. Watch that, what the teacher or the leader of the religion is saying. How are they behaving? Is what they're saying the same as how they're behaving? You know, and just be really, really cautious and don't throw yourself in completely until you are confident that it's safe. Okay, but please don't turn away from spirituality. And you might have to do it on your own. Get books perhaps just to do it on your own, instead of following a group or a person. Try to do things on your own for a while until you get in a better place, and you can do it on your own if that's something that you want to do. It's totally possible to make spiritual progress all by yourself. You just need to read the books, get the information that you need in order to do that, and that would help to keep you safe from any predator type people that are out there. And it's really sad because there's just so much of it. It's very, very sad, and I'm sorry that has happened. And I'm hoping that's, if that hasn't happened to you, that it won't happen to you. So just, if it hasn't happened to you, please be cautious, be prepared, and don't throw yourselves fully into something until you've given it enough time to know that it's legitimate. Okay. So the next card we have here is Twilight Shadow. So this feels like your energy, and again, kind of peeking around the corner, being cautious, being a little bit scared, being careful of what you do and where you go. And I mean, you might have been burned in different ways spiritually. Maybe you were following something, and maybe you run into a pack of demons or something, right? Maybe this is more of a spiritual abuse or trauma that's happened, rather than a another human harming you or causing issues. And so there could be a lot of caution, and yeah, we need to be careful. These things are out there. So yeah, be careful, be cautious, make sure you're protected. And again, just really pay attention to what you're being told. Is it true? Does it seem true? And yeah, you kind of have to figure that out for yourself. Um, Always, like, I would recommend never channeling. Don't even try, because you're most likely going to get a negative entity. You're not going to get a positive entity. That seems to be the case with most of them that I've heard. And so you want to be really, really careful and cautious. I work with spirit, and the thing is if you're dealing with a spirit and right away you're feeling high, um, be cautious. That's probably something negative coming through. They like to disguise themselves. They use a lot of trickery. The spirits that I deal with, it's just like dealing with like your friends. It feels nice, but it doesn't feel overly good, and it doesn't feel bad. It's just kind of a neutral feeling. And so, yeah, we want to be really, really careful of any sort of spirits that we're interacting with. So use caution and get protected. The white light will not protect you. That's fake. That of course was devised by the tricksters and demons. So really research, really be cautious, and please, like, don't try. I would highly recommend not trying to channel spirits, if you're especially if you're not used to dealing with them. You can really get burned. So be very careful, very cautious, and just take it slow. There's no rush to do that type of thing. Okay. Okay, the next card we have here is Quiet Stillness. So here we have, almost looks like water coming down, the blue dots on this rock. And again, this is that gathering everything inwards. Take stock. You might have to leave things behind, right? This rock is separate, doesn't have the blue dots, and that's okay. But we have to do that sometimes. We have to figure out what's best for us, do the inner work, and be willing to let go of things, even if you've invested a lot of your time, a lot of your energy, or a lot of your money into something. If it is not working, if it's not getting the results that you want, if it's hindering you in any way, if it's causing obstacles to your spiritual practice, if it's caused you any pain, drop it before you end up investing even more of yourself, your energy, your money into it. You cut your losses, right? Okay, I made a mistake, that's not working, and allow yourself to drop it, let it go. Doesn't matter how much you've invested, don't waste more on it, right? Stop it while you can and walk away from it, and gather your resources internally, and work on finding truth, and work on investigating the truth, so that you will have that, and you will know it's true because you have experienced it. You have invested in the truth. Okay, and drop anything that is not true, that is harmful. Okay. The next card we have here is Hidden Learning. And once again, it's a lot of this internal work that needs to be done, these purple dots along the body. Okay, a lot of inner work that needs to be done. However, I'm seeing this body as floating. We've got the wavy plants, which almost seems like it's underwater, and bubbles coming up, and the person is rising, floating up. So it seems as though, okay, you've gone through this, you've done the internal work that you needed to do, you've used caution, you found out what's actually real, what's good, and now you're benefiting from it. Things are going to improve, things are getting better. You might even start to have spiritual awakenings. So you will overcome this trauma, this grief, despair that may be coming with this card, or that you've already started to go through. You're going to come through that, because there's the purple here in this card, and this card, and also here. You're going to rise up. You're starting to rise up out of the purple, out of the things that kind of frightened you, harmed you, traumatized you. You're rising above it, you're getting away from it, and you're heading in the right direction. Okay. Okay, that seems to be it for your reading. I hope this has been helpful. Thank you so very much for watching. So this reading is for those of you that chose the third deck, the Aboriginal Healing Oracle cards. And so let's take a look at what's coming your way. So the first card that we have here for you is Austral Bugle, Cleansing. So this feels like you're doing okay financially. Maybe you have a little nest egg, some savings, and that's good. Maybe you've made some cautious investments. If not, and that's something you're thinking of doing, be cautious. I would recommend it. What seems to be coming through is to not take any wild risks. Even though it seems as there might be a big payout, a big dividend, right now is not really the time to do it. So use caution. Of course, it's always up to you, but it feels like the keeping the money tight and close. Okay, not spread out. It's not like the flower is spread out everywhere. It's kind of nice and close and tight, and so that's what you need to do with your finances. Okay. So it's being recommended. So the next card we have here is Jeddah, Honesty. Yeah, so what's coming through here? Okay, so be careful. This is a couple of dancing fools. They are con artists. They put on a really big show. They're dancing around. They've got all this flair around them. They seem like they're having a great time, laughing, joking. Isn't everything wonderful? Look how great their lives are. And it's not true. Okay, so be really, really careful with these people. It might be more than two people. They're just big smiles, always kind of showing big money, but the money that they show is all they have. They don't have any savings. They don't have any investments to back them up. And so they're showing off this money to try to make it seem like they're so wealthy that they can afford to do this, but it's just a show. It's not real. They steal. They do whatever they can to get the money. They abuse and use. So be very, very, very cautious. It may be one person, but I think if it's one person, they have other people around them that are saying, oh, yeah, absolutely, this person, oh, yeah, they're totally rich and they're totally trustworthy. No, they're in on it. So be extremely cautious when these individuals show up. And again, they're going to be all smiles and wonderful and buy you things at first to try to impress you, and it's lies. It's a con job. They're going to take you for everything you've got. So really, really use caution. Be careful here, okay? Okay, so the next card we have is Janali, Integrity. Yeah, these are their victims from the past, okay? And they are starting to group together. They have figured out the score, what's going on, and they're grouping together. So they may even contact you to warn you about the person in this card. Please listen to them, because this has happened to them. Firsthand experience. They have been conned completely. They fell for it. All the lies that were spread, they totally thought it was true and wanted to back them up and invest with them or whatever, and then they've been totally taken for a ride and they're devastated, and they are banding together, sorry, that they've been finding out about other people that have been conned, because I have a feeling this person travels too, to do this. Like, they put on a really big show, but it's completely false. So please listen to these people, and please don't end up having to join them because you get conned, okay? So please, 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 and this person may be offering love. They might offer love along with their, I'm so rich. But be really cautious, okay? Really careful. If it seems like it's an absolute dream come true, it is most likely a nightmare in disguise. So please, please, please use caution. Be careful, okay? And maybe even try to find out if there are people who know them from the past to find this information out, okay? Okay, so the next card that we have here is Lawana, Wisdom. So it would be a good idea in this card, because we have an individual here, and then to me it seems as though there's smaller individuals in front of them, and get protection, okay? This is coming. If you have people that you can absolutely trust in your life, whether it's siblings, besties, whatever, family, get them to gather around you. You can let, the ones that will understand, you can let them know, hey, this might be coming into my life, or maybe you've already gotten wind of it. Help protect me from it, okay? And ask them to help support you and protect you. They will, okay? They're going to do that. And also it gives them the heads up that there's something wrong. Because if this person is looking for investors, they may go to your family and friends to try to get even more money. And so make sure that they are aware and protected as well. And be careful, because this person is extremely conniving and will tell you what you want to hear. They know, they've been practicing this. many, many times in the past, they have been practicing how to pull one over on people and who's looking for what and how to get to people. So please gather people around you to protect you, okay? So the last card we have here is Cherry Ballart, Courage. Okay, so this card is just saying that if you listen to the advice and you don't get conned, you're going to be okay. You're going to have everything together, you're going to be fine, and you're going to be like, whew, disaster avoided, right? Dodge the bullet type of idea. So it's just it's just encouraging you to please take caution. If anybody's coming around and feeding you all kinds of, you know, ideas that they're gonna, make you a princess or a prince, or they're, you're gonna end up being a millionaire or a billionaire like they are, they're not, and none of that's going to come true. So if it sounds amazingly awesome, it's probably fake. So please, please, please use caution. Okay, that seems to be it for your reading. I'm hoping this doesn't happen to you, and yeah, thank you so much for watching. So this reading is for you, those of you who have chosen the 4th deck, the Shaman's Oracle cards. So let's take a look and see what's coming your way. So the first card we have here is Ancestor of Skill. So this feels like you've been working hard. It almost kind of has a feeling of drudgery. You just feel like you're doing so much and not getting anywhere. Because the being in this card is kind of hunched over, walking slowly, it just not peppy and enthusiastic, but dragging themselves along. And so, yeah, it feels like you've been working really, really hard and you just don't seem to be making any leeway. You're not getting anywhere. It's almost like the troubles just keep mounting and piling up, and problems after problems, and you just don't seem to be getting anywhere. And that's the feeling that's kind of coming through, that you've been going through this, and it feels like you've been going through this for a while. And so maybe you're even kind of thinking, I'm almost at the end of my rope here, and I don't know what I'm going to do when I run out of rope. So let's move on to the next card. And we have a Shaman of Purification. So this tall character here, I don't know if you can see it, sorry. The tall character here. Oh, wait a minute. Yep. No, sorry. It's overlapped. So there's a character here whose head ends here, but then there's this taller character here. Okay, so you're the taller one here that's kind of bent over this person. That feels like that's your energy. Unless I'm mixing that up. Anyway, you're the tall one whose face is here. And again, there's this feeling of just kind of being exhausted and hunched over, and maybe even in pain. Maybe you're going through physical pain, and it feels as though you're supporting this other person whose head is here. Again, I hope you can see this. Sorry. Yeah, the head that's here. So it feels like you are supporting this person, and you're listening to this person here who's wearing the hat, I guess. And it feels like you're trying to protect this person that's close to you. That the person with the hat, they don't necessarily wear a hat in real life. That's just how they're pictured here in the card. But what's coming through is that they're trying to help you. They're trying to give you advice. They're trying to tell you things. And I think maybe you've been a little cautious, that you're just worried that, oh, this is going to be one more thing that's just going to go wrong. I'm going to try it and it's not going to work out. And then I'm just going to end up back where I am, or maybe even worse off. And so there's a caution here. But their feet are lit up. If you can see that in the card, how bright it is under their feet. So I get the feeling that they're coming from a good place. They mean well. They are actually trying to help you. There doesn't seem to be any deception here, okay? So if there is a person that's been trying to advise you, and if they seem to be happier in life, or not having as much of a hard time as you, and they're trying to help, and they seem genuine and honest, and wanting what's best for you, then it wouldn't be a bad idea to start listening to what they have to say, and taking help and advice from them, because I think it's going to help to start to ease your burden a bit. But there's a worry here that you might be too cautious and miss the opportunity, and so that then you'll just sort of be stuck the same place you are. So yeah, just I think you'll know if the person has integrity or not. So make sure it's a person with integrity. If it's someone who has kind of played tricks, or hasn't been completely honest in the past, then that's not the person that's coming through in this card. Okay. So the next card we have here is Shaman of Tradition. So I'm starting to think there is somebody in your life who actually might be causing you problems and issues. So where I get that this person back here in the previous card with the hat in this card, that they're kind, they tend to be softer, quieter, okay, that type of a person in general, where this person is a loud, boisterous, braggart, claims things that are outlandish. Just, yeah, I think you know who that is. They are causing issues behind the scene, because you see all these black, almost like tentacle things coming out from over here. Yeah, there's negative stuff they're pulling stuff. They might be taking money from you, or using you, taking advantage of you. Yeah, be really careful if you can back away from this person. I think for some of you this might even be like a sibling, a relative of some type, and maybe you feel like you're obligated, you have to put up with them. You don't have to, okay? Just because they're family doesn't mean they're good, doesn't mean you need them in your life. If they're abusing you, harming you in any way, you don't have to keep them around, okay? That's there's so many movies and shows. Oh, it's family, you have to do, you know what? Some families, and it's usually the very toxic families that are saying, "Oh, it's family, so you have to stick with family," but they're the toxic ones. They're the ones that are abusive and just ridiculous, and absolutely not right. You can make your own family of good people, and not people that are going to harm you in any way. So, yeah, I think you know who this is. You may not be aware that they have been doing things behind your back, but I think they've been draining you, probably of your resources, probably of your money, because that's coming through very strongly. So be really careful here of what's going on, because the feeling that's coming through is they really don't care about you. They are just so narcissistic, so full of themselves. It's all about them. They don't care who they hurt to get what they want. And so they honestly don't care about you. They might say they do, they might pretend that they do, but they don't. They're Whatever advice they give you always comes back to benefit themselves not you. Okay, so I think you know who this is. You're going to have to investigate to find out what it is they've been doing behind your back, but they have definitely been harming you in some way. And I think for most of you, it's going to be financially. And so you need to put a stop to that, okay? Because it's not kind letting people cause harm, okay? So the next card we have here is Shaman of Loss. So I feel you getting stronger, that this is you, you've got a weapon, you've got a shield. You know, the harmful person, which actually is a very similar look. I am just noticing. So the little person back here, right, in red has a very similar look to this person with the white with the antlers kind of coming up, right? So same person. If you're able to grow in strength, in size, in maturity, in wisdom, and realizing just how much they've been screwing you over, and so they're like rather hurt that you've cut them off, which I highly recommend you do. But they're still going to keep trying. They're still going to keep trying to come in. They're still going to keep trying to weasel, to make excuses. And please be careful. Don't fall for it, because, you know, I think you know they've done this before. They made promises before and haven't done it, right? I mean, it's empty words if they're not actually trying and changing their behavior. It's just empty words, because they will just say whatever they need to say in order to get to be able to take advantage of you more, okay? And they know, because they've been doing it their whole lives. So yeah, but I see you being in a much better place, stronger. You know, you're standing up straight rather than being hunched over, okay? Because you're not allowing them to take advantage of you anymore. Maybe you've started to listen to the nice person and things are improving for you, because it definitely looks like things are going to get better. But it won't happen if you don't cut that little antlered weaselly person off, okay? So the next card we have here is Dancer of Life. So yeah, it seems like this character here feels like your energy, and then this could be the other person that was in this card, the smaller person that you're with. So it could be a child, a partner, you know, whoever it is coming through for you. And two of you are dancing and celebrating. Things are going to improve, okay? I know you're not in a good way now. It might seem to get a little worse with all this going on, but things are going to get better, and then you're going to be in a much better place coming up. You're going to be much happier, much more secure, and a lot of your problems are going to start to fall away. Things are going to improve, okay? So please hold in there, hang on, and get rid of that person, okay? They're not helping you. And I just mean, you know, cut them out of your life. Just cut them off if they've been, you know, using you, abusing you, whatever they've been doing. Stop it, okay? Because it's got to stop for your benefit and for their benefit. Okay, that seems to be it for your reading. I hope this has been helpful. Thank you so very much for watching.